Hey, good morning, everybody. And I'm Steve Farrell with Humanities Team. I'm coming to you live from our studio here in Boulder, Colorado, the Humanities Team studio. As you can see on camera, you can see their names. I've got these two beautiful guests here with me today, Deborah Myers and Heather Gray. I'm going to introduce them properly in just a moment, but hey, welcome to the program. Deborah and Heather, thank you for being here with me.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
You bet. And so this is a live program, so let me share that right at the start again. Deborah, you're coming in from Northern California, is that right?
Correct. Yeah, Sonoma County, just north of San Francisco.
Boy, and Deborah lives in a beautiful spot, let me tell you. Woo, lucky Deborah. And then Heather's here nearby. Heather, where are you coming in from?
Loveland, Colorado.
All right, Loveland, Colorado, and I'm again in Boulder, Colorado, and wow, we have the weather today. We've had the snowstorm, actually, that's right, snowstorm here in Colorado, and the storm system just moved through, so today it is a glorious day. Wow, I mean, we're blessed. So a big shout out to all of our Humanities Stream Plus members, to Humanities Team members, to friends of Deborah Myers on her Facebook page, also friends of Heather Gray on her Facebook page, to John Raymer and the Sign Network. He broadcasts out to all of these progressive organizations all over the world, the Sign Network. By the way, check them out at sign.network. You'll love what they do, and you may well want to become involved with them. So now, as always, this is a live program, so we take your questions and comments here during the hour. So as we go through this program, if there are questions that you want to bring to Deborah or to Heather, be sure to just put them in chat. They're brought back to the studio here. I can see them. And the earlier in the program, the better. And we'll get to as many as we can before the hour's out. Now, I am with holistic practitioners. So our theme here today is conscious healing, or conscious health and well-being. So don't we all want more conscious health and well-being in today's world? So I'm with two holistic practitioners. They're both fabulous. Their expertise actually goes in different directions, though there's some overlapping. Let me properly introduce them, and then we're just going to jump right in with some of their personal stories and how they came to do the really incredible work that they do. I'm going to start with Deborah Myers, who is an acupressurist and Jin Shin Yatsu practitioner whose mission is to teach people in every stage of life how to balance their energy, to be healthier and more productive, and enable them to live more vibrant lives. Creating programs like the Daily Clean Your House Flow, Deborah demonstrates just how accessible and important it is to build daily practice of self-healing. So, and again, welcome to you, Deborah.
Thank you.
All right, and now Heather Gray is a functional diagnostic nutritionist practitioner who works with people experiencing all kinds of chronic ailments, from anxiety to IBS to Lyme to endometriosis, to help them find a lifestyle and diet where they don't just survive, but thrive. Heather works with her patients to find healthy coping mechanisms for daily stress and support for the body to create long-term success. And again, welcome to you, Heather.
Thank you.
So, boy, wouldn't you like to have these coaches available to you every day? Deborah and Heather, and you actually can. So we'll get to that. But boy, you know, in these areas of acupressure and in nutrition, there just are all actually in family and friends. There are all kinds of challenges that I'm aware of. So I'm sure many of you viewers are going to want to come in with your own questions and comments. So let me start here with you, Deborah. In the green room, before we came on, I was sharing, I know your personal stories, and it's fascinating that you each actually had your own challenges, that your own journey to find your own health and well-being, and then this brought you to the expertise that you have now, where you're teaching thousands of people all over the world. So can you just tell us a little bit about your personal story, Deborah?
Yes, thanks. So I started studying energy balancing, energy medicine back in college in the 70s. So that's really dating me. And as I learned, I took to it like duck to water, and always knew it would be part of my life. I just never thought it would be part of what I did for my livelihood and what I get to bring to folks all over the place. But then what happened, I was actually a very successful real estate broker for a long time, insurance and securities broker. So I've done a lot of different things, a lot of different hats. And then in 1993, I had a really bad car accident, ended up with multiple herniated discs, said, I'm not going to do surgery, and went searching for someone. I had just moved to where we are now, went searching for someone who could give me light, gentle touch, because I knew that's what my body needed to receive to start even a deeper healing practice and process than what I was giving to myself at that moment in time. I needed assistance. And as my body really started discovering that, and really quite quickly, the light bulb came on going, girl, you know this, just do it. So I literally at that moment in time listened to my intuition, listened to the universe, and said, okay, I'm on a path. And I closed up my insurance and securities office, gave all my business away, said, okay, this is my direction. I got certified as an acupressurist at the Acupressure Institute in Berkeley, continued my study of Jin Shin Jitsu, which is an ancient form of Japanese acupressure, studied a lot of different modalities. And since 1995, I've been in private practice, seeing clients both virtually and in person, and in virtually for a long, long time. And then, of course, the last couple of years more so. And I teach self-help acupressure workshops. It was actually my clients years ago who said, Deborah, will you just teach us? And so I started. And by that time, I'd already written what Steve was referring to, the 9-step self-help acupressure flow that I call the daily clean your house flow. It recognizes the body you walk around in is your house. So you might as well take these things called fingertips out of your pockets and start learning how to make use of them to connect with the energy and help it move. So that's what I did. And as a result, I've been teaching workshops all that time, created programs for kids in schools. And folks, I can't imagine not getting to do what I get to do. And even when something comes into my world, into my body that says, uh-oh, I know my body's better prepared for what I'm going to ask it to do and better prepared for what might come at it. And yes, things happen. And the goal is to be able to help your body heal. So a few years ago, 2015 already, I was in another car accident and rear-ended on the freeway, totaled my car, and it took me off track for a little while. But by golly, I got back on track. And a lot of it because I knew what I needed to receive for myself, to give to myself. And I also knew what I needed to do to reach out to receive from others, from colleagues, from other folks that could give to me and my body what it needed to receive. So that's, 27 years of being able to do what I get to do is such a blessing. I am so lucky. And I love being here with Humanity's team, with all of you members, to experience what Humanity's team brings to this global community. Thank you for what you do, Steve.
Oh, gosh. I'll receive that on behalf of all of my partners and colleagues who I'll introduce at the end of the program, or some of them. I work with marvelous colleagues who are just so passionate with all of us about this whole conscious living thing, which is that's the umbrella term we use, that all of this that we're talking about fits under. So, wow, what an incredible story. And I was just thinking, Deborah, as you were sharing, what often this ancient wisdom says, that if we want to be a healer, if you want to be tall, you need to know what is short. If you want to be fast, you know what is slow. So if you want to be a healer, need to know what is unhealed, car accidents and things. Yeah, but unpleasant, but boy, it sure makes us stronger. It kind of is our spiritual gym in some ways, isn't it?
And then to be able to take that information,
and you train people
I was going to say, to be able to take
all
that
over the world.
It's pretty awesome.
And what kind of groups? I'm going to come over to you here in one second, Heather. But what are, I know, as we've talked, you've talked about nurses and doctors and children and adults, and so it seems quite diverse, these audiences that you teach. Is that right, Deborah?
That's correct. I do workplace wellness programs. I just finished a whole program for a mental health clinic in San Diego. It's a virtual 5-week program, and very well received and so much fun to do. Taught with staff development, human resource programs. I created the program for kids in schools, and I love bringing that information to the kids. It's so much fun to see kids from very early on learn how to become partners with their own bodies. I mean, what a joy is that? And yes, I'm also in the state of California, a certified provider to the Board of Registered Nursing. So nurses, LVN, psych techs, for instance, can get continuing ed credits. And I have healthcare providers from all over the country and Canada take those classes for CEUs as well. Like I have acupuncturists and physical therapists, et cetera, who take my classes to get those CEUs, but to gain that information that allows them to blend what they get to do.
Fantastic. So, and let me share to viewers that during this program we're going to look at clips from online programs, transformational education programs that Deborah and Heather have created. We're going to get to experiential exercises. So, boy, you're going to want to stay tuned all the way through the hour. And you know, the neat thing about this program is we're a 501c3 nonprofit. So guess what? No advertisements. We're just broadcasting all the way through. So, and you know, again, we're taking your questions and comments. 2 have already come in. Kirsten and Leslie. We'll be sure to get to your questions here. Kirsten and Leslie, thank you for throwing questions at us early. We'll have plenty of time to get to questions here during the program. Okay, Heather, I'm going to come over to you because your story also, wow, is fascinating. And and Heather is Jim Gray's wife. So, and Jim's right here in the studio. So I actually know a little bit about Heather, even though this is my first time doing a program with her.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for sharing, Deborah. My gosh, car accidents, those are horrific. I thank you for sharing, being vulnerable. That was awesome. Yeah, so I usually start off any talk with at the beginning, and I was basically born constipated, right? That was my first introduction of had Band-Aids thrown at symptoms. At the time, the doctors and my mom were just throwing thick, nasty oils down my throat, you know, trying to figure out why, you know, trying to soften my stool. But nobody was trying to figure out why this 4-year-old was so constipated, to the point of, you know, my feet falling asleep when I was on the potty. Around that same time, my uncle had killed himself. He parked his car in a garage, shut the door, and left the car running. And that led a really black mark, you know, on my family, a dark time where I don't remember a whole lot of, probably, thank God, right? And then you fast forward a few more years, and turns out I had celiac disease that was undiagnosed. You know, so I was 27 years undiagnosed celiac disease, endometriosis, Hashimoto's, and Lyme disease. But really, you know, in my teenage years, you marry the early childhood trauma, you know, so it wasn't just my uncle's death. It was also being brought up with alcoholics, drug addicts, abuse, neglect, right? Really low self-esteem. And now I've got a gut that's compromised and not working properly because we didn't know that I was celiac. And so, you know, even though I was eating, I was extremely malnourished, which caused some mental health issues. And then now by the time I'm 13, I get bit by a tick and I've got the perfect storm going on, right, to develop Lyme disease. And 2 years later, I ended up in the psych ward for my first suicide attempt. And again, at the age of 18. So my whole life, I've been in chronic, widespread pain, anxiety, depression, angry outbursts. They actually have a name for it now. It's called Lyme rage. Back in the day, they just called me the Hulk, you know, Hulk smash. Very reactive, kind of like walking on eggshells. And it sucked because that's not who I am as a person. That wasn't my heart, right? So then when I would act out in these ways, I was constantly apologizing for my behavior, constantly apologizing my behavior. And then there was this guilt and this shame kind of wrapped up into that as well. So it kept me sick for a really, really long time. And it was, I got diagnosed with Lyme disease finally in 2013. And then I ran into the same problems I ran into, when my kid got diagnosed with celiac at the age of 2. All I did was want to throw them on prescriptions, pat them on the head, and send them out the door, right? They were hitting the Lyme disease with napalm, but not doing anything to support the host that has been sick for decades. I thought I was going to die. I thought they were trying to kill me. And that's when I heard the founder of FDN speak on, you have to heal the gut. You got to make sure the hormones are balanced. You got to make sure the detox pathways are working, basically supporting the host and removing all the hidden stressors off the body, right? Inflammation, so that the body then can take over in its great infinite wisdom and do its job, right? So did that and had some really amazing success right off the bat. Lost like 65 pounds, got out of pain. My depression, my anxiety got a lot better. My constipation got better. My bloating, gas. Oh my gosh. After I would eat, it was like Violet off of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? I felt like Oompa Loompas were going to jump out of the walls and come roll me away because of how bad I would bloat after I would eat. So had some really awesome success, but then went through a divorce and kind of got away from my lifestyle that helped me get better. And then so it was about a year and a half ago, and I've gained weight. I'm back to being in pain. I'm back to being reactive. And God bless my lovely husband. He said, enough. I'm not going to be married to an angry person anymore. He's like, I don't know what's going on with you. I want to support you, but we can't keep going on like this. And he was right. And there was a piece in my health puzzle that I never addressed, and that was trauma. And so that was the big piece that I've added to my practice over the last year. And that's the clip that you're going to watch, is some somatic experiencing work. I feel that trauma doesn't need to be talked about and relived in order to heal, right? There's these simple tools that we can do to kind of help regulate our nervous system to help remove this stored trauma. And a lot of that is what keeps us stuck. And so, like Deborah's car accident, right? That's a big T trauma. And if she does these exercises to help, regulate the nervous system. And so I found that when you're looking at hidden stressors as well as dealing with the trauma and your nervous system, you have to look at the body, mind, spirit holistically, right? And bring all these pieces in. And that's why I love when I meet someone like Deborah who does what she does, because I refer out quite a bit, because even though I teach a little bit of somatic experiencing work, that's not my area of expertise, right? I like to stay in my lane and refer out to others, because I've found that when folks that are chronically sick, they can't get answers, they need more than one modality, right, to work with to help them get back on track.
Wow, golly, thank you for being so vulnerable, Heather, and sharing. Wow, what a what fertile ground for what you're doing. But oh my God, I'm sure viewers too are saying, "Oh, God bless you." I wouldn't want to journey through that. So
I also have a transgendered son, and I look at him quite often, and I'm like, what on earth did we sign up for? This time around, like, Earth is already such a tough place to come into, and then yeah. So I'm hoping, just like you said earlier when you were talking to Deborah about the gifts of, you can't be tall without knowing what short is. Like I'm praying. I already know I've helped so many people in the way I've changed their lives, but that's my hope, is that if one person gets anything out of my story, right, then it's worth it, and it's not all in vain.
yeah, of course. So Heather, let's come, to and again, thank you for being so vulnerable and taking us through your personal journey. And now what you've come to, because now you're creating these online programs. We're going to go look at one here in a little bit. You're coaching and training and so on. So can you tell us a little bit about today's world, where we just fast forward all the way to where you are today and how you're helping people, maybe all over the world? I know in Colorado, certainly.
My practice is remote, and I just landed my first paid speaking gig yesterday for the city of Fort Collins. Like, God bless them for being so progressive enough that they have these wellness check-ins every month with their city employees, and they're giving incentives for these healthy lifestyle by like giving them extra days off and extra pay in their paycheck. And so they saw an article that I was interviewed on food and moods and how what we eat affects our brain. And I was invited to speak and get paid to speak, because I typically do this type of stuff for free because it just lights me up. So, but I do want to I do want to, start getting paid more often. So how amazing to land that first speaking gig yesterday to such a cool group of people. And it was really well received, which was always like a phew, because some of the stuff I talk about is pretty not mainstream. And so I always was a little concerned on how well that was going to be received. And I think a lot of people got some really great stuff out of it. But yeah, so I've got an online platform. I also have a podcast called Talking Shit with Heather, because I found that when, like stories like me and Deborah's, right? That's when we talk about these shit stories, the shit storm, right? And bring them to the light. That's when they can get healed. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm up to right now.
Fantastic. And you're coaching and guiding people that are encountering the same kinds of problems that you did. So as a nutritionist?
Yeah, I'm working with a lot of Lyme autoimmune, because I've reversed 3 out of 4 of my autoimmune issues, and I put my Lyme into remission. And there's not a whole lot of people I know who have had those major health issues for decades who are functioning as well as I am. So I'm trying to bring them along the same road and experience the same joy and peace in their body, and become friends with their body and their brains, right?
Yes, absolutely. And let me just say too, years ago, this term woo-woo was thrown around of, oh, that sounds woo and so on. But, thankfully, with each day and week and month that passes, these conversations are seen as what they are, very authentic, down to earth, couldn't be more truthful, where we're not just stuck in this whole Western medicine thing of, wait a minute, there's some symptoms here, let's go treat these symptoms. Now, on this conscious journey, it's like, well, maybe there's some root cause. Let's go, which tends to bring in Eastern and other, the progressive practices that you yourselves are developing. A lot of this, it's frontier. We're on the frontier, developing new diagnostic tools, new remedies, etc. So let's transition over, because again, you all have created online programs. It's part of what you offer as holistic practitioners. So let's go, Deborah, we'll go first look at yours. There's a little clip here. This is from your daily Clean Your House Flow program. We're going to talk more about it because it's really amazing. This is a little clip. It's actually from a transformational education program that's on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. In a little bit, I'll share a little bit about it. But it's briefly, it's a revolutionary conscious streaming platform. It's subscription-based. Deborah's got a program on there. She shares another one's coming here real soon. So let's go take a look at a clip from that program, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
You get to live in a body that's happy and comfortable. So here we go. The very first step of the daily flow is to give yourself a hug. Light, gentle touch anywhere from your elbow to your shoulder, wherever your fingertips land. That's the other piece. There is no wrong, because there's no right. Imagine that. You get to kick perfectionism right out the window. There's no place for that in this. It's called self-help acupressure. So holding with light, gentle touch for a couple good breaths. And when you're here, anywhere from your elbow on up, you're connecting with energy balance points that are about breath. They connect with lungs. They connect with diaphragm. They're also connecting with energy balance points that are all about taking care of yourself, loving yourself, giving a message to your body that you love it so much you are taking time to give it health and wisdom and joy.
Wow, so that was inviting, wasn't it? Wellness from the inside out. So, Deborah, tell us about your transformational education program. It's on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. If you would, that was just a little minute segment. So, you want to talk a little bit about the program there that you created?
I'd love to. Thank you. It all came to be when I received a email, an invitation from Colette with Humanities team and a few other your other team members asking for a conversation. And what had transpired is my name had been given to them as a someone who potentially had a program you might be interested in, specifically to direct information and ideas, possibilities to families and kids. That's one of the directions, one of the topics of information that Humanities Stream was searching for. And I said, well, yeah, I knew about Humanities Team. I was honored to receive that. And we had a beautiful conversation. We set it up. I decided to, as you could see, just create. And so the whole program is about giving information about and self-help instruction about how to connect with the energy of your body, no matter what your age. It works. And I do my best to give the information in such a way that no matter if you're 3 years old or 93 years old, you can grab onto the information and make use of it and have it be easy and effortless. Because what it's all about is discovering that you can truly be the best partner with your body if you get out of your own way and allow yourself to recognize that you have the potential, the energy that you walk around in. You are an energy body, and that each and every one of us can access that energy by just simply touching energy balance points and help the energy be in flow. Energy needs to move. It needs to change. Einstein said E equals MC squared. Everything's energy. Help it move. And when it's moving, the body has less and less chance of holding on to any blocked energy. It's the blocked energy that gives us projects. I call things projects instead of problems. Projects are a lot more fun to work with and have a beginning and an end. So in my program, I talk about how we can help physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual layers of our body feel that balance and have it be expressed in such a way that each layer assists all the other layers and all the energy balance points work together in a place of collaboration, in a place of think about your body as this house, but also as a playground. Get everybody to play together, all the energy balance points, all the organs, all the rivers of energy, get them to play together in that state of collaboration. So immune, endocrine, adrenal, lymphatic, and nervous systems as the big overall systems can fully take care of us. So in the program on Humanities Team right now is just that. It's giving immune boosters. It's giving you ways to have clarity and focus and increased productivity. Again, no matter your age and whatever part of your life you're searching for that information for. Is also in there is to help emotional health and discover how you can get the information from your emotions. That's the purpose of emotion, is to give you that sense of what's this about, and then to be able to recognize it, acknowledge it, say, okay, this is what I can do. This is how I can be, and literally get ourselves out of efforting around it. So one of the pieces I teach in the daily Clean Your House Flow is how to get rid of worry fast. And we can help all our emotions find that place of being positive so that we can go forward. And that's the piece that, again, I dearly love showing kids, no matter what their age, no matter what's going on in their worlds, so that they can be in a state of discovery of how to be the best partners with their bodies and how to be so excited about life, how to have joy, laughter, and happiness, have that to be the core that we get to access on a consistent basis. Because when the body is in a state of balance and energy, that's what's available, is feeling that, knowing that, and then help the body say, when something goes a little awry, the body then comes back because it knows balance and harmony and says, gives you a nudge, gets your attention and says, okay, I know what I'm going to do for you now. And that's oftentimes the signals we get, the signals our bodies give us as to, okay, you got a sensitive gut going on right now. You got a headache, you got a knee ache, you've got a headache, whatever the case may be. get the signals, get the ideas, and then allow your body to take care of you and you take care of it. So it's a game of reciprocity.
Beautiful. Boy, what a beautiful invitation there, Deborah. Wellness from the inside out, and so inviting the way you describe it, and also so true, huh? And both you and Heather are bringing in just let the body do its miracle thing, because our bodies they're miracles, really.
Yeah.
They're self-healing mechanisms, this notion of getting out of your own way, but then, specific processes that you've created that support health and well-being and that bring you to healing. So now when you go to the Humanity Stream platform, just type in, up at the top in navigation, there's search. So type in Deborah Myers, and you'll see her current program. This program will go on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. So where you want to come back and watch it again, Deborah and Heather, you can go to her online program. And as she mentioned, there's a new program that she's bringing to the platform soon. So, and that search mechanism is really cool. You can use it for Heather Gray, because her program is also on the platform. Neil Donald Walsh, Barbara Marks Hubbard, really about anybody in the transformational education space, even like Archbishop Desmond Tutu. You'll see all these programs come up. It's amazing. All of these beautiful leaders who've created these amazing best practices online programs in this category of transformational education or conscious living. We can label these things in different ways, but they've placed their programs on the platform, and instead of just watching the mindless stuff all the time on Amazon and Netflix, just carve it out. Let's carve out 5% of the time, to educate ourselves on something valuable, useful to health and well-being in our life. So, and I promise you, it's like potato chips, because you come in with that 5% of the time and you go, wow, I think tomorrow I'll go spend some more time there rather than watching this mindless thing over, on an entertainment streaming platform. Okay, so Heather, we're going to come over to you now, and we're going to go to a clip from your transformational education program with this really beautiful exercise. So let's go take a look at the clip, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
The other exercise I wanted to show you today is called supporting the eyes. And this one gets a little trickier to show just because of where the camera is. But typically you would want to put your elbows up on a desk. Maybe I can do it here. Put your elbows up on a desk, something where you can support your arms while they're supporting your eyes. And so you're going to start off by kind of getting some energy going in your palms. And then you're just going to place the palms of your hands directly over your eyeballs. And the pressure from your palms of your hands on your eyeballs there actually sends a signal to your heart. And so I used to get a lot of heart palpitations and, anxiety. And especially, like I said, if I've been staring at a screen for too long, because we're not meant to stare at screens all day. So if you start to feel and notice like a headache come on, if you start to feel and notice brain fog come on, if you're kind of noticing that your brain feels like it's getting stuck, possibly inflamed, that's a great exercise to kind of help stop that in its tracks.
Okay, and discovering health. So we're going to talk with Heather about her online program, also on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. And I'll just say, as we start talking about this, Heather, it's like, wow, because who would think that where we're just putting pressure on our eyeballs, that we're doing something with the heart? But clearly we are. Do you want to tell us maybe a little more about that exercise, and then about this really phenomenal program that you developed?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just to piggyback off of what Deborah was saying, that our body will send us signals, right? If we can take the time and listen and know what it's saying. One of the things I like to repeat over and over and over in my program is no matter how common a symptom may be, it is never normal, right? Too long, too many people have been living with stuff, headaches, migraines, constipation, bloating, all these little nagging little things. But over time, they add up to big things, right? When we stop listening, when we don't listen. So all the exercises that I'm showing is to help stimulate the vagus nerve and help to stimulate the opposite side of your nervous system. So we all have two sides of our autonomic nervous system. We have our parasympathetic and our sympathetic. Sympathetic is fight or flight. A tiger is chasing me. I'm under a lot of stress. I've got chronic illness. I was just in a car accident. That is our fight or flight. We cannot heal. We cannot digest. We do not rest when we're in that state. And so for me, especially with having the chronic illness and having mold is a huge one for sparking that response and keeping the gas on. Chronic illness, early childhood trauma. And so that's why, I would keep going back to set point, even though I would deal with all these physical things and have some great success. I ended up back at set point every single time because I never addressed my nervous system being chased by a tiger all the time. So it's a direct response. That pressure is a direct response to the heart and to the vagus nerve, and it just chills you out. So a lot of the exercises that I teach in there, it's just, and same thing with like Deborah's, like I was on her course last night and I loved the finger exercises, like how I love simple things that can shift immediately. And it was funny, as she was talking, I was sitting there grabbing my thumb and I felt like you can usually tell when you shift out, you'll get a deep spontaneous breath, right? Maybe even a yawn. You might even hear your stomach gurgle. And that's the sound of your digestive, system coming back online. I'll sigh, so it's beautiful. Now that I've done this work long enough, I can tell immediately when something's working for me. And so I grabbed my thumb and within a second I was like, because this is always a little nerve wracking. I'm still kind of the new kid on the block here and to speak in front of folks. And I'm just like, a little nerve wracking. So I grabbed my thumb and relaxed. I went. So the program that I built for Humanity's team, and I think it just now dawned on me the company that I am in on this platform. It's not just about having my program on the platform, but look at the company I'm in. When you named off all those names, Steve, oh my gosh, I almost started to cry. I was like, that is the company I'm in right now. And thank you so much for that opportunity. But the program that I built was just a little taste, right? It's a foundation. Because like with anything else, and what frustrates me about the Lyme world, especially, people want to go straight to treatment. And you can't supplement your way out of a bad diet. You can't exercise your way out of a bad diet, right? You have to start with the foundation, getting your nervous system chilled out, getting your diet right. How many hours of sleep are you getting? What kind of water are you drinking? What kind of toxins are in your environment? All these things need to be in place, right? And so the course that I built is just a tiny smidge of, because my programs are usually 3 to 6 to 9 months, depending on how sick a person has been and how far down deep we're diving, right? Most people got here with their best intentions, and in order to get better, we kind of got to do a 180. And I really hold your hand through it because, sadly, when we go to a doctor, they might tell you need to lower your stress, or you need to change your diet. But they don't give you anything more than that, right? And it's no wonder why people still stay stuck on this trial and error, stuck on this, medical merry-go-round that they're on. And I coach, I teach you lifestyle, I hold your hand, and walk you through peeling back all these different layers of the onion that I had to peel back. I became the practitioner I needed back when I needed to get that better. So I just kind of gave a little bit of an entryway into the program, giving some great tools that, people will have big shifts right off the bat if they start implementing a lot of the stuff that, I gave away for free in the program.
Wow. Fantastic. So Discovering Health. Yeah. And check it out. So go check out Heather Gray, Deborah Myers on the Humanity Stream Plus platform, and just like 30 seconds on Humanity Stream Plus. It's a subscription platform. It's all about conscious living or transformational education. These are really focused on the very same thing, which is health and well-being, where we're operating from our soul space. and just where we see a different world, a sacred world, and we see that in ourselves, but we see that in each other, the earth, etc. We lowered the price on this from $5.99 when we started to $4.99. It's now $3.99 for 12 months. There are hundreds of programs on the platform. This year alone, we've put 20 new programs just in 2022. Here we are, end of May, 20 new programs on the platform. So it's a treasure chest, it's a playground for conscious living. And I've got two, I'll call them diamonds. Heather, the beautiful thing is yes, there are the icons, the names we know, and they are fabulous, and the whole world knows who they are. And then there are people like you and me, the three of us. We're not well known out in the world, but that we're doing, just really super stuff. Diamonds, I'll refer to you two as. And it's our pleasure to bring on people like yourselves that maybe the public doesn't know. And there's somebody right now, I promise you, with a diet issue that's going, oh my God, I wonder if Heather could help. And others, with acupressure, these other healing from the inside out kinds of issues that where they're going, oh my God, I'm going to reach out to Deborah. So because we actually bring ourselves, this is to the people and processes that can heal us, right? That's part of the miracle of life. It does work that way. So I'm sure there are viewers here now that are going, thank God, these two are here with Humanity's team today. Okay, let me get to some questions, and then we're going to get to some experiential exercises. At the beginning of the program, I shared, wow, this hour is going to go fast, and here we are coming into the final 15 minutes. So we're going to cover as much as we can in the final 15 minutes. So here's a question from Kirsten. She says, for Deborah and Heather, I have osteoporosis. Can your field help with this? And I'm not sure which of you might want to go first on that.
Go ahead, Deborah.
Thank you. I can't wait to hear what you have to say as well. Yes, it can help. Of course, I can never make any guarantees, but over all those 20 plus years, I can say I've worked with a lot of folks with skeletal issues, muscular issues, and when the body goes into a state of out of balance, that's when projects take place. And the projects are the symptoms, the conditions, and we can access the energy of the body in such a way to help it remember. It's all about repatterning, reprogramming, giving the body a new habit, a new way of being, which is really an old way. It's reminding it how to be. So we can actually help the body recognize that, hey, there's something there that wants to be changed and is ready to be changed. Just please give me some more direction. So the way I do my energy balancing is I directly connect with, for instance, the muscular system, the digestive system, the skeletal system, all the reproductive systems, to really help all of them work together in a collaborative way. Because when one is out of sync, chances are someone else is listening and saying, well, I'm going to help you either support that being out of sync, or let's work together to help it go into balance. And that's the goal, in my opinion. The way I like seeing it is the person you're going to have the longest relationship with is yourself. So when you really foster that, you can totally step into a whole new way of being. And yes, digestively, something like osteoporosis can really help. A condition like that can get through change better when you look at nutrition.
Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry. I was just going to jump in. Yeah. So thank you, Deborah, bringing that up. So in FDN, we always say we don't treat or diagnose any disease, right? I'm not a licensed practitioner, but what I do is help the body, like Deborah puts it, remember. There are little ways that I can look. I do run a lot of DNA testing to see kind of what's going on in your genetics that might make you predispositioned to something like this. And if there's something that we can work with in your blueprint, that'll help you get a better outcome down the line. Also, though, I found working with lots of folks that osteoporosis, osteopenia, it starts in the gut. Right. So I typically take people off of grains immediately because those are the most offending foods when it comes to causing like a leaky gut and causing malnutrition, and if your gut is not working right and you're not absorbing the minerals and the things that you need, it's going to cause deficiencies down the line. So always starting with mindset, diet, DNA, and looking and healing the gut and seeing where we can shore up some of the weaknesses that's gone on through decades of we live in a very toxic, turbulent, environment that really humans were not built to live the type of lifestyles we're living these days. So getting people back to, square one and like I said, figuring out how are you sleeping at night? What are you eating? What's your gut like? So there's a lot of different things. So I don't like go in and deal with osteoporosis, directly, but I go in and I clean up all the other areas that might be having an imbalance going on. So that way your body then can do what it's supposed to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
I
Yeah.
love working with nutritionists and other practitioners of other fields, because when we can help the body and all layers and levels come together in congruence, that's when changes take place. So yeah, inflammation is a big one when it comes to osteoporosis, osteopenia, all the other. And inflammation, the body sees inflammation as blocked energy. That's what it is. So whether it's retention, inflammation, swelling, gut issues, whatever it is, it's a way of being. And it's a
Okay,
pattern.
I'm gonna get to some more questions, and then maybe right at the top of the hour, if we go a few minutes over, we can do these experiential exercises, because we've got questions coming in, and so little time, so much to do. So here's a question for you, Heather. So this is from Leslie. She says, my daughter is 33, has endometriosis, and is experiencing early menopause. She is constantly tired and is wiped out for a couple of days after a training session. What can she do to help with this?
So many pieces to layer back, and that's kind of that's my jam. That's what I do. So FDN is we have a protocol called Dress for Success, and it's diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. And all those things need to be in balance for the body to come in. And so when she said training, believe it or not, when I'm working with folks, the first thing I have them do is pull back on their heavy training, because stress on the body is stress on the body is stress on the body. Our body doesn't recognize good stress and bad stress. And so if we're trying to heal something like an autoimmune disease, like endometriosis, you've got to give it the opportunity to downregulate and relax. And that's when it heals, right? Getting out of that fight or flight. Heavy, strenuous exercise actually puts us in that fight or flight. I remember back when I would do spin classes, like an hour-long spin classes, drenched in sweat. And then I'd come home and I would pass out for 2 hours afterwards. And my ex-husband would come home and look at me and like, what's wrong with you? I thought this was supposed to, energize you and make you feel better. And I'm like, I feel like the life has literally been sucked out of me. So it's funny when I start working with women and trying to lose weight, and I tell them, all right, pull back on how much you're working out. And it seems so counterintuitive, but it never fails. They'll pull back a little bit and then the weight starts falling off. I'm not saying don't exercise at all. Movement is absolutely crucial, but I told you my husband last year lost, 65, 70 pounds from walking, right? That's all the movement we did. I lost 50 pounds from walking, right? It wasn't running, the 10Ks, and it wasn't doing the spinning classes. But yeah, you've got to look at all the different ways that inflammation and stress is coming into her body. So I would absolutely look at diet. I would look at stress levels. I would look at trauma. I would look at exercise, so just the whole shebang. You kind of got to look at the whole picture in order to reverse that. And sadly, once you already have one autoimmune process in order, it leaves you open and more susceptible to other, I was collecting them like trading cards, right? Like a lot of Americans are these days. Most people don't just have one autoimmune disease right now. So just something to think about going forward for sure.
Okay, beautiful. I guess this is why they call it holistic expertise, right, or process, because it's all, there are lots of threads in the sweater there. Yeah, thank you for that, Heather. I'm going to throw this question at you, Deborah. So Janice says, do you have remedies for falling asleep? my brain can't quiet fast enough. Anything that you could suggest to help?
When sleep is so important to the body, and it's all about consciousness and awareness. When the body's in a state of consciousness and awareness, it will be more productive in the daytime to get to what you want to get done and everything else, and being clear and focused. And at the same time, that same consciousness and awareness is important at sleep time. It brings us to a place of being able to go into deep, rejuvenating sleep, restful sleep, and actually productive dream state. So one of the best things you can do for yourself, I'm going to throw in a little bit of tidbit here, is to hold the base of your skull. That occipital area is all about consciousness and awareness. And if you just gently touch that left on left and right on right, right behind your ears, at the center of the base of the skull, you can directly connect with an energy balance point that's about bringing you restful sleep. So when you first lay down at night, and if you're having trouble go to sleep, do that. If you wake up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep, do that. And then there's other remedies, if you will. You could hold one here and bring your hand over to here. So I'm going to mirror you. The right hand would hold here and the left hand would be on the outside of your wrist. And it totally calms the nervous system and brings the whole body to a state of peacefulness so that it can let go of that thing called mind chatter or monkey mind. There's others as well. You can make use of the jumper cables that are part of the daily clean your house flow. And I can give you more.
Okay, yes, and you do actually, even in the program that you've got there on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. Yeah, so thank you for that, Deborah. Okay, so now Greg is coming in on something that one of you said. He says, when you speak of traumas, isn't part of getting to the other side of trauma talking about it? Or did I misunderstand what you said earlier? I recently lost a good friend to suicide, and it is the main thing on my mind right now. So
I personally am not a huge fan of talk therapy. I find it a little outdated, and I find that there are so many other more gentler ways to deal with trauma. And though if you're in that early stage where you feel like you need to talk it out, right, empty that bucket, absolutely talk it out. But no, I don't think that talk therapy is the only way. There actually has been a lot of research showing that talking about it actually reactivates it and kind of can keep it stuck in your nervous system. So if that's all you're doing for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you're finding you're not getting anywhere, you might want to shift and go a different route. But in the beginning, absolutely talk it out. Don't shove that energy in and keep it locked up, because that's what'll create sickness down the line. But using different modalities, talk therapy and, jumper cables, talk therapy and somatic experiencing, talk therapy and, EDMR, there's so many beautiful other practices out there that you can add on with that to help move through trauma, because you don't want to get it stuck. When it gets stuck is when it causes disease, when it causes other issues down the line, to becomes more expensive and harder to work through.
yeah, thank you.
Right. I actually get a lot of referrals from therapists who are searching for ways to help their patients, their clients move through, that they recognize that something's not quite moving quickly enough, or it's just consistently getting caught up. So bring another modality into it to work in conjunction with. And that's, I think, what's the beauty about what both Heather and I offer, and many of our other colleagues, is that they can all be blended. That's the beauty. It's not like one predisposes the other, one takes over from the other. They all work together collaboratively. And that's the beauty, because you're walking around in a body that says, I just want help. And then when you give it help, it knows that you're taking care of it.
Yeah, Heather,
and
go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry, Greg. I didn't mean to gloss over your loss. I am so sorry for your loss and the experience that you're going through right now. And I hope that you are getting the support and the help to work through this, because it's not an easy thing to do.
Yes.
So true.
Yes. So true. Wow. I mean, there's so much that we can cover, and we have covered actually already here during the hour. But I was sharing we want to get to experiential exercises. So why don't we do a brief one? Which one of you would like to go first, Deborah or Heather?
Go ahead,
I'd be
Deborah.
happy to go. Thanks. One of the things that I know I'm seeing in a lot of folks is their desire to be more easily able to speak their truth, to literally get out of their own way and speak their truth. And when I notice that is, for instance, when something has transpired in their days, in their lives, that has seemingly a sense of getting all constricted and contracted, and it takes away the breath and takes away the ability to then speak, and not only speak, but to have all the other senses accessible, to be able to listen better, to be able to express what you want to say, what you want to hear, what you want to believe. And what I'd love to show you is right below your collarbones, there's an energy balance point that's all about gathering and dispersal. In fact, if you watch somebody doing Qigong, there's a movement where they go like this and bring in the energy and move it back out. It's connecting with the same energy balance point. And it's all about gathering and dispersal. To choose a hand, I'll choose your right. I'm mirroring you. Thumb on one side, fingertips on the other, right at the base of the collarbones, where the collarbone and first rib come together. And then have the other hand, I'm going to move my screen so you can see, have your other hand right at the base of the sternum. And you're just going to breathe that for a couple good moments. And what that does with light, gentle touch is bring all the tension in from your jaw, from your throat, from the ability of your body to communicate. You're connecting with the fourth chakra and the fifth chakra all at the same time to help your body express itself and love itself at the same time. So there, and then bring that lower hand from the base of the sternum down to your tummy with the fingers in a vertical pattern right below, between your navel and pubic bone. And when you're there, you're connecting with first and second chakras, which are all about safety, security, having a great foundation. And so just that off and on throughout the day can be so expressive to your body that you're taking care of it. And of course, that even works better if you give yourself the opportunity to do a daily practice. And that's why I created the daily Clean Your House Flow, because it's a simple energy flow, 9 steps that you can do in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want to give to.
And Deborah, what can you share your website where people can go to download that daily Clean Your House Flow?
Yes, it's deborahmyerswellness.com. And that's my website. And if you click on the purple button that says Get Connected, first off, right off the bat, you'll see the animated video come up. Then you can go to the button and you get an email, put your name and email in there, and you can have access to it. And you get a lot of information off the program that I have on Humanities Team.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Deborah. And Heather, we'll come over to you. I know you've got a beautiful experiential exercise you wanted to share.
Absolutely. And actually, if you'll keep us all on screen, and Deborah and Steve, if you can join me in this one. So I'm going to combine 2 somatic experiencing things that I teach on the platform. It's called a VU with a push away. And so you're going to get your hands up here next to your shoulders, and you're going to actually act like you're pushing a boulder away. So you engage your arms. It's just not like a passive thing. And so you'll take a deep breath in, and as we're pushing away, we're going to make the sound VU at the same time. And this helps stimulate that vagus nerve and gets us out of that fight or flight and into the rest and digest. So ready? We'll take a deep breath in. Push out. Ah, so yummy. So like when I feel like the world is on me, when I feel like my energetic space is just, right there, I'm feeling anxious, there's a lot of pressure, deadlines, people wanting things from me. If I can take a moment and do that VU. And you can do it out to the side, you can do it up top, you can do it out bottom, and just, move your energetic bubble out to give you some breathing room, right? To get you back into your space and into your body. And at the same time, you're stimulating that vagus nerve with the VU. Like, it's such a powerful hitter, and, use it a couple times a day to just really kind of keep yourself in balance, in balance, in balance.
Nice.
Sweet.
Wow. So,
That's
and
beautiful.
Heather, where can people go to learn more about you, download your tools?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to check out the podcast I was talking about and a lot of the videos, I have Discovering Health FDN on YouTube. It's a great resource for all the videos and workshops and podcasts and stuff. Also go to the website, discoveringhealthfdn.com. And right off the bat, it pops up a free little ebook, like 6 tips to a better night's sleep. So just go ahead and pop your email in there and get some quick little easy suggestions on a better night's sleep, because sleep is so crucial.
Yes, it is. Yeah, boy, we even got to a question on sleep here during today's program. So thank you so much. Thank you, Heather Gray, Deborah Myers. Thank you so much for being here with us. Viewers, thank you. All of you, of course, are conscious people on your own conscious journey. Thank you for being here. And you probably know, Humanities Team, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and our whole focus is supporting you on your conscious journey and to make conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040 in 18 years. So that's our whole focus. We, as a nonprofit, we get to really focus on the juicy stuff. We don't have to worry about the top line and bottom line growth. That kind of stuff. We actually are trying to get reduce our revenue intake so more people go through the classes than to increase our class prices. So thank you so much for joining us. Next week we're going to have Neil Donald Walsh with us, who's a Humanities Team co-founder. And we're going to be talking about this whole conscious journey. Lots of really cool, juicy stuff that we'll get to next week. So be sure to join us next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, when we begin. And at the end of the program, I always like to, we're going to pull the camera back. I want to thank my colleagues and partners here in Humanities Team that make this program and all of our programs possible. You'll see Jim Gray. So here I am on the couch right here, and there's Jim Gray over there. He's the producer, director of this program. This is our little studio here in Boulder, Colorado. Jim, great, thank you. Also, Karen Gordon, who leads the communications team. Dee Meyer, director of operations. Timothy, Garth Catterall, Nanette Kennedy. So thank you to all of my partners and colleagues who make this program possible. And to you viewers, hey, you have a fabulous rest of day and week. We'll be back with you next week. And hey, for all of us, we're all on this conscious journey. It's the invitation in life, right? To just come into the fullness of health and well-being, which is what we've been talking about here today with Deborah and Heather. So, and be sure to reach out to our friends here. As you can see, boy, they're holistic practitioners and have so much to offer the world and are offering the world. So thanks, everybody. Peace and love and blessings. And we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.